March 1945. The schoolhouse outside Krefeld has become a tomb, with a roof half blown away. Snow drifts through the rafters and lands on 32 men stretched across rows of child-sized desks pushed together like rafts on a black sea. Feldgrau lies beside khaki, beside the torn blue of a Luftwaffe pilot whose leather jacket is now a shroud. A Russian greatcoat covers a boy who hasn't spoken since they took his tongue at Stalingrad. Their breathing is the only clock left in the building, shallow, wet, counting down. Anna Ritter, 24, Red Cross armband hanging by threads, stands in the doorway clutching a single sheet of paper that has just murdered every last hope they had. The order is typed in perfect Berlin German. All medical personnel evacuate west of the Rhine immediately. Wounded, unable to march, are to be left with minimal supplies. The major who delivered it didn't even look back as his Cuba-wagon disappeared down the lane, tires spitting slush like contempt. Anna listens until the engine sound is swallowed by the wind, then she crumples the paper slowly, deliberately, and lets it fall. She closes the door, turns the key twice. Outside, the blizzard howls like incoming artillery. Inside, 32 pairs of eyes track her every movement, some pleading, some already past caring. A British sergeant with shrapnel in his thigh whispers through cracked lips, "You leaving us too, nurse?" His accent is pure Manchester, rough as mill smoke. She stitched him twice before, knows the names of his daughters. The first night without supplies is a slow crucifixion nailed to the walls of that schoolhouse. The generators are gone. The last bulb flickered out hours ago. Candles are currency now, one stub traded for a sip of melted snow. Anna tears the remaining blackout curtains into strips, boils them in a tin bucket over a stove fed with broken desks and hymnals. She sterilizes needles in a tin of schnapps meant for a new year that never came, the label still showing a smiling 1942 couple who are probably dead now. Lieutenant Daniel Carter, American pilot, 26, Chicago, watches her thread a suture needle by firelight and mutters in halting German, "Fraulein, you're either an angel or completely insane." Anna doesn't look up from the knot she's tying with teeth and fingers that haven't slept in 4 days. "Both, Lieutenant. Keep breathing." In the far corner, a Volkssturm boy named Klaus, 16, leg gone above the knee 2 nights ago, starts screaming when the pain breaks through the last of the morphine like a bayonet through paper. There is no more morphine. Anna pours the last finger of schnapps into a tin cup, cradles his head the way her mother once cradled hers during the raids on Hamburg. "Drink, Liebling. Dream of summer meadows and your mother's kitchen." He drinks, gags, passes out, face slack with the mercy of unconsciousness. The silence that follows is worse than the screaming. At 0300, the Russian prisoner Sergei, no surname left, sits bolt upright, grabs her wrist with fingers like frozen iron. "They will shoot you for this. Desertion. Enemy help. They shoot nurses now. I have seen it." Anna meets his black, ancient eyes that had watched friends frozen into statues on the Volga. "Then they will have to shoot me in front of all of you, and I do not think they will like the picture that makes." Sergei studies her a long moment, then lies back, a ghost smile on cracked lips that have forgotten how to hope. Dawn leaks gray through shattered windows. Anna has not slept. Her hands are steady only because they must be. She looks at the rows of men who should be enemies and realizes the word has lost all meaning. There is only pain now, and the thin, fierce thread of mercy she refuses to let snap. Anna kneels, touches his burning forehead with fingers that haven't stopped trembling since yesterday. "Not today, Tommy, not while I still have hands." She stands. Her voice is soft, but slices through the room like a scalpel through dead flesh. Listen to me, all of you. I am staying. We are staying. Together. In the guttering candlelight, her shadow stretches across the wounded like a dark angel who has just chosen which side of history she will die on. Hit subscribe because what happened next was never written in any official report, and the snow almost buried it forever. 10 days crawl on broken glass and frostbite. Anna rations the last morphine like communion wafers, one precious drop at a time. She boils snow for water, boils bandages until the pot is empty, boils her own fear until it no longer tastes like fear. She sings to them at night, German lullabies for the homesick boys in Feldgrau, English hymns for the Tommies who still believe in something, Russian songs she learned from Sergei when the pain made him talk in his sleep. The men start calling her Schwester Anna, no matter what uniform they wore. Even the American pilot with the Chicago accent tries to shape the German words with his cracked lips. On the 10th night, she hears engines. Cautious, probing, British engines. A patrol from the 11th Armored Division, lost in the fog, looking for a bridge that no longer exists, stumbles on the schoolhouse because one man smells wood smoke on the wind. Sergeant Tommy Walsh kicks the door, Sten gun raised, and freezes in the doorway. The stench hits first. Gangrene, blood, boiled cabbage, human waste. Then the sight. One exhausted German nurse standing between him and 32 wounded who should be dead weeks ago. Anna does not flinch. She is holding a dripping enamel bowl of snowmelt, arms trembling from carrying it up 3 flights of rubble. Tommy's eyes flick to the British uniforms on the pallets, to the German ones, to the American flight jacket, to the Russian greatcoat. His finger tightens on the trigger. "Step away from my lads, nurse." Anna sets the bowl down slowly, lifts both hands, palms open. Her voice is hoarse but clear as winter air. "They are all my lads, Sergeant. Lower the weapon before you frighten the boy with the lung wound." Behind her, Klaus whimpers like a wounded animal. Tommy hears the Manchester in her English, and something shifts behind his eyes. Private Evans whispers, voice shaking, "Bloody hell, Sarge, she's kept them alive." Anna points to a red-haired corporal lying nearest the door. "Shrapnel in femur, dug it out with a dessert spoon, fever climbing. You have penicillin?" Tommy stares at her like she's a ghost risen from the snow. Anna sways on her feet. Tommy catches her before she hits the floor. She weighs nothing. War has hollowed her out the same way it hollowed the country. Word tears up the chain faster than any shell. By dusk, a full medical jeep arrives, 2 real doctors, crates that smell of heaven and Dettol. Major James Harrington, 35, Oxford, steps over the threshold and stops dead in his tracks. He has seen Belsen. He has seen the camps. He thought he had seen everything. He has never seen this. One German nurse, sleeves rolled high, blood to the elbows, directing British medics with the calm authority of a woman who has been God for 10 days straight. The lung wound needs chest drains here and here. The American has peritonitis. Operate tonight or lose him. The boy with the missing leg, watch for gas gangrene. I have been packing the wound with sugar because it was all we had. Harrington finds his voice eventually. Fraulein Ritter, staying behind is desertion under German military law. Do you understand what you have done? Anna does not look up from counting morphine syrettes like a miser counting the last coins on earth. Major, I have 32 death sentences in this room. Mine makes 33. Hardly noticeable in the grand arithmetic of this war. A silence thick to choke on settles over the room. Harrington removes his cap, runs a hand through hair gone iron gray at the temples. You will come with us. Protective custody. Anna finally meets his eyes. And my patients? They come too. All of them. Every last one. She blinks once. That is all the emotion she allows herself. Outside, retreating German units have heard rumors. A hospital full of traitors, a nurse who chose enemy lives over orders. Torches are lit in the darkness. Men who have nothing left to lose gather like wolves smelling blood. The night is coming for them all.
Midnight. 30, maybe 40 men, some Wehrmacht stragglers, some SS, all drunk on rage and ersatz schnapps. They carry torches, rifles, and the kind of hatred that only defeat can breed. They want fire. They want an example. They want to cauterize their shame by burning the wound. Inside, the British patrol, 12 men who thought the worst was behind them, load weapons they hoped never to use again. Anna steps onto the front steps alone, holding a Red Cross flag made from a bedsheet and iodine, the only white thing left in the entire building. Her voice carries across the snow like a bell in the darkness, clear and unafraid. "The first man who throws a torch answers to me and to God. Choose carefully." Behind her, the British form a firing line in the doorway, faces grim. In front of her, the mob hesitates. They have come to burn traitors, not to face a woman who looks like every mother they ever failed. For one impossible moment, enemies stand shoulder to shoulder to protect the wounded they all share. The torches lower. The mob melts away into the night, like smoke losing its shape. Anna's knees buckle. Major Harrington catches her before she hits the frozen ground. "You just stared down hell itself, nurse." She manages a cracked laugh that costs her the last of her strength. "I have been doing it for weeks, Major. You are simply the first ones who stared back." In the sudden silence, the only sound is 32 men breathing, still breathing, because one woman refused to let them stop. April 1945, a proper British field hospital near the Rhine, canvas walls, real sheets, the smell of carbolic and hope instead of gangrene and despair. The 32 are scattered across clean cots that smell of sunlight and starch. Anna sits on an overturned ammunition box outside the mess tent, writing in a small black notebook the Red Cross gave her like it is the only thing keeping her soul stitched together. Major Harrington approaches with a mug of real tea, 2 sugars, miracle of miracles after years of acorn brew. She takes it with both hands like it might vanish. "Your orders came through," he says quietly. "Displaced persons facility in Scotland, protected status, no repatriation until Germany has courts again." Anna sips the tea, closes her eyes as sweetness floods her mouth for the first time since 1939. "And the men? Every single one alive because of you. The American pilot wants to name his daughter Anna. The Russian asked me to tell you he will never forget the German girl who gave him water when his own side would have shot him for deserting." She nods once, throat working against tears she has not allowed herself in 10 days. Harrington hesitates, then asks the question that has haunted him since he first saw her silhouette against the torches. "Why? You could have walked away. No one would have blamed you." Anna looks toward the ward tent where 32 hearts still beat because she refused to let them stop. Because someone had to remember they were people first. If I walked away, I would have been walking away from the last piece of myself worth saving. She tears a page from the notebook, folds it with care, hands it to him. He will carry that folded page in his wallet until it wears soft as cloth, until the day he dies. From Anna Ritter's notebook, 12th April 1945. "They keep asking why I stayed. The truth is simple and terrible. If I had left, the last light in me would have gone out with them. I saved 32 lives so that one life, mine, would still be worth saving. I do not know if God kept score, but I know I did. 32 heartbeats against one conscience. The maths was easy."
from Major James Harrington's private letter home, never sent. Darling, I have seen courage in battle, men charging machine guns with nothing but rage and bayonets, but I have never seen anything like the quiet ferocity of that girl holding a Red Cross flag against a mob of torches. We won the war with tanks and bombers and oceans of blood. She won something harder. She won the right to call herself human when everything tried to take that away from her. I do not know if I believe in saints, but I have met one, and she wore a torn gray uniform and spoke with a Westphalian accent. The letter ends there, ink blurred by salt water he will never admit to shedding.
1952. A small stone cottage outside Inverness. Whitewashed walls, herb garden that smells of time and second chances. Anna Ritter, the name on her British naturalization papers, tends the rows of rosemary with hands that still bear the scars of frostbite and needle pricks. Every Christmas, cards arrive from 32 different countries, some written in English, some in German, one in careful Cyrillic every year. The American pilot, now a United Airlines captain flying the Atlantic routes, sends photographs of a red-haired little girl named Anna Carter blowing out birthday candles. The Russian, Sergei, now an engineer in Leningrad, sends pressed flowers from the Crimea and a single line every year without fail. You gave me tomorrow. Tommy Walsh, the sergeant from Manchester, visits every summer with his wife and 3 boys. They drink tea on the porch while the children chase chickens across the heather and ask why Auntie Anna speaks with a funny accent. She never tells them the whole story. Some truths are too heavy for small shoulders. In 1968, a young BBC researcher tracks her down for a program about unsung women of the war. Anna almost refuses. Then she thinks of the boys who never came home because no one stayed for them. She agrees, but only if no cameras show her face. The interview is broadcast on radio only. Listeners hear a soft Scottish lilt wrapped around perfect German vowels. I was not brave, she says, voice steady as winter. I was simply too stubborn to let death win that day. The brave ones were the men who kept breathing until help came. 1987. The Berlin Wall falls. Television screens show young people dancing on concrete that once killed for being crossed. A letter arrives at the cottage postmarked Munich. Inside is a single photograph. The schoolhouse, restored as a peace museum. Windows whole again. The plaque on the wall listing 32 names, and beneath them, in smaller letters, saved by Schwester Anna Ritter, who remembered we were all someone's child. She is 70 now. Arthritis has twisted the hands that once sewed arteries by candlelight into claws that can barely hold a teacup. She sits in her garden among the rosemary and cries without sound the way Klaus once did when the pain was too big for tears. The last entry in the black notebook, written the week she died, 1994. If you are reading this, remember, nations fight wars, but only people can end them, one refused abandonment at a time. The smallest act of mercy is still large enough to hold the entire world. I carried 32 heartbeats out of the snow. They carried me the rest of my life. 1994. The funeral is small, Scottish rain soft as mercy on the heather. Major James Harrington, retired colonel, stands at the graveside with 31 old men who should not be alive. They lower her coffin wrapped in the same Red Cross flag she once held against the torches. The fabric faded now, but the stains still dark. Tommy Walsh, voice cracking like old ice, reads the line she asked for. She did not save 32 soldiers. She saved 32 reasons to believe humanity is still worth the trouble. The German nurse who refused to abandon dying enemies taught victorious soldiers the war was not over until kindness won. And on that day, in a ruined schoolhouse in 1945, kindness stood its ground and refused to blink. 32 hearts kept beating because one woman decided the arithmetic of mercy was the only sum that mattered. Share this if one person choosing decency in the very last place you would expect it can still change everything.
Thank you for watching Ghost Unit Archives.